Y'all, what is up, everybody? I am X-Time, X Television. Y'all already know that, though. Welcome to this edition of the Yyyaaaooo vlog, something that always trying harder to get more editions done for you guys. But definitely wanted to get out here and talk about Letters to Robin and the Phlogistinator a little bit more. Definitely want to take a step back from this whole process that we've been doing and change how we end those letters. Definitely, people who've disagreed with us, but also just people who, it was probably mostly people who disagreed with us, said, hey, I don't really appreciate you signing off those letters as the community. And, we want this Letters to Robin segment to express opinions that are prevalent and are held throughout the community. But certainly, sometimes we're going to present issues that people disagree with the stance that we're taking. So certainly, from now on, we will be signing off those letters as the XTV staff. So thanks for the feedback on that. I appreciate it, and I certainly understand where you guys are coming from. Change done. Want to talk now about the Phlogistinator, because I've also been getting a lot of feedback about that letter and what we said in that letter, and that stance as well. There's a good, right now it's at 12 pages, there's a good Steam-powered users forum post going on about that issue, that's Letters to Robin. And a lot of people there are taking issue with what I said, and that's okay. Difference of opinions is great. We are glad that we're starting a debate, we're starting a conversation about this. And I want to extrapolate a little bit more about what I said and my opinion and where my thoughts are coming from on this. Some of the people who don't know me that well, or don't have a history with XTV, whatever, are saying, well, hey man, like, Phlogistinator pyros are really easy to kill. They don't have air blasts. You just hit them with a rocket. And that's not a problem for me. I can shoot feet. I can get kills. And I'm also a player, that I'll play, and even if I think something's overpowered, I'm just going to keep playing, and I'm going to keep trying to work it out. And if worse comes to worse, I'll just switch over to doing that. But the Phlogistinator, even though I can see Phlogistinator pyros, I can kill Phlogistinator pyros, I don't really have a problem dealing with them, or even a huge problem playing against them. And I personally just kind of suck it up and deal with it. I still think that weapon is overpowered. And overpowered and OP is kind of one of those key definitions, one of those key phrases that sometimes people freak out about and feel really vehemently about it. And I think there's different levels of what OP means and what OP kind of entails. Somebody saying Equalizer is overpowered, and it's banned in Europe, competitive leagues, and Equalizer is really powerful, but does it break the game? So in one sense, it's overpowered because it's clearly better than the shovel, but on the other sense, a bunch of soldiers with the Equalizer, they can retreat a little bit faster, but there's no real game-changing capabilities, that ruin how the game is played. When the damage was really high on the Equalizer, then it got really crazy and it messed up the game. I don't think Phlogistinator pyros ruin the game per se, but I do believe that it is a flawed weapon and that it is too powerful. Really, for me, the main issue is that you right-click and you get all your health back. There's no other class that can do that. There's no other ability out there. The only closest alternative is the sandwich. But you look at the sandwich, and one of its current capabilities is you right-click, you throw it on the ground, you walk over it, and you get another 150 health back. But that is a mechanic that Valve is looking at. It's a mechanic that I disagree with, and in the beta, how they've currently implemented it with the heavy having to throw down the sandwich, and then when he picks it up, he just puts it back in his inventory. I agree with that change. I think that's a good change. I think, being able to throw your sandwich down, pick it up, get health without really any sort of downside is damaging to the game and how it is played and how it not how it should be played, but I think it's damage to how the game plays. The sandwich, when the heavy eats it, it builds up his health. Imagine if the heavy ate the sandwich and all of a sudden he had full health and then he just stands there going nom 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 nom. That's a big difference between having his health build up. What happens right now is Phlogistinator Pyro can be 20 health and have a heavy right in his face. He can right click and taunt, do his little dance, and he's at full health immediately when he taunts, and then he has an extreme amount of damage reduction. That means that he can soak up most of the damage coming out of him, and then he comes out of that taunt with crits, and he can put out insane damage to anybody who's close by him. Something that a lot of people said was like, well, hey, why don't you run away from him? And yeah, that is a great strategy to deal with a Pyro who very shortly is going to have crits, and in the meantime, you can't damage him and you can't kill him. But I really find a problem with the fact that he can just stand there in an open battleground. He doesn't have to walk around a corner completely safe, and then he gets crits. And people also said, hey, well, why don't you backstab him? Why don't you snipe him? And, you know, one of the great things about TF2 is that it is rock, paper, scissors, and that certain classes are meant to counter other certain classes. But also throughout TF2, even if you don't have the key class who can counter that class, you can still make it happen. If you don't have a sniper, if you don't have a spy, you can still kill a heavy weapons guy. And with the Phlogistinator, I feel like people who are saying that, I feel like that's kind of a cop-out. It's like, well, you're not understanding that there's a problem with it. Sure, there are some solutions that you can deal with it, but the weapon itself and that capability to get full health back instantly and then to have a ridiculous amount of damage reduction while you're taunting is just too much, in my opinion. I think that it is vastly overpowered. And this is a new weapon. You know, you look at the Natasha, you look at the Buff Banner, you look at the Sandman. You know, there's been multiple weapons that have come out, and when they came out initially, they were flawed. And that's our main point with Letters to Robin, is that we want to make points and we want to make arguments of things that need to be changed. I don't think the Phlogistinator is so crazy that the game is ruined with it in it, but I just think that ability to be able to right-click, instantly heal, and then as soon as your taunt's done, even if somebody is throwing damage at you, you are still going to have a lot of health when you come out of that taunt. I would like to suggest 3 alternatives how I could see the Phlogistinator be improved, still keep its core mechanics. I guess even now, I already did a video take of this once, and I said 2, and then I thought of 3, now I thought of 4. So I have 4 thoughts on how you can change the Phlogistinator. So make it more balanced as a weapon, and more fitting for the world of TF2 and all the craziness going around in pub servers. 1, make the charge harder, or take longer and more damage to build. Which is all right, but I just don't feel like the other aspects are more troublesome. 2 would be to make it that when you taunt, it fills up your health gradually instead of instantly, more along the lines of the Heavy's sandwich. 3 would be that the Pyro, when taunting, it only heals him for a Doctor Box, a large health pack. Not the full box, but just the large health pack. And then the 4th would be to reduce the damage reduction that is in effect while he's taunting. And those are all options that I feel keeps the core of the Phlogistinator, but brings it a little bit more in line as a reasonable weapon. And you know, yeah, I play a lot of competitive TF2 where there's not a whole lot of Pyros. But I also play a lot of Highlander, when this weapon first came out and I saw people using it in Highlander, it was like, man, that is crazy. That is ridiculous. And I don't have a whole lot of time to pub. I don't pub that much. But just the core, the details of the Phlogistinator, even though there's counter strategies to it, what it has right now, it's just too much. And I just believe that it needs to be tuned down a little bit. So, yeah, thanks for hanging if you lasted this long. I was trying to make a shorter video in this second take of it, but no, still 10 minutes long. For future letters to Robin, please leave your feedback on what you would like to see us discuss. You can hit us up on the xtelevision.com forums, or you can mail me at xstein@xtelevision.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Xstein. I'll see you next time. Peace out.